Good morning students, welcome you all in English lecture. So dear students, in previous lecture we have completed the topic punctuation in our previous lecture. Now in today's lecture we are going to start with the new topic of your English textbook. So students, I request you all to kindly get ready with your English textbook, your English notebook and carry pen pencil in your hand. Friends, just open your index page contents. Now unit 1 we have already completed in our previous lectures. Now we have already started with unit 2 and unit 2 2.1 from a railway carriage and 2.2 the souvenir. These both chapters, one poem and one chapter, we have already completed in a previous lecture. Now this is to inform you all that unit 2 2.3 Abdul becomes a courtier. So this chapter we are going to omit this chapter. The reason behind it is that this chapter is too lengthy, and as you all know, during this pandemic it's not possible to complete the all syllabus. So for that purpose we need to omit this 2.3 as this is very lengthy chapter. So we'll proceed to the next 2.4, how doth the little busy bee. And in today's lecture we are going to start with 2.4, how doth the little busy bee. I repeat once again, chapter number 2.3, Abdul becomes a courtier. This chapter is not there for your exam, so I request you all to keep in mind that this chapter is been omitted. So we'll start with the new poem 2.4, how doth the little busy bee. I request you all to kindly remove your textbook page number 35. Page number 35, unit 2.4, how doth the little busy bee. So dear students, this chapter, or you can say this poem, it contains two poems, one of which is written by Isaac Watts and the other is written by Lewis Carroll. I repeat, in this poem there are two poems and one which is written by Isaac Watts and the other is written by Lewis Carroll. How doth the little busy bee by Watts. So the first poem which is shown in your textbook, that poem is written by Isaac Watts and it is the original poem which is written against idleness and mischief. It takes the example of a bee to teach the values of hard work and sincerity. It tells us how a little bee regularly works hard to collect honey from different flowers and stores it well in the honeycomb. The bee here has been used a model of sincere efforts. On the other hand, a parody, this poem, the second poem, it is written by the poetess Lewis Carroll, and it pokes fun at the original poem by giving an example of a crocodile. Now it tells us the example of a crocodile. It follows the similar rhyming pattern and structure of sentences, but with a different tone. It evokes laughter and uses crocodile as a model of laziness and trickery. It discusses how a crocodile lazily throws water on its scales to shine its tail. The crocodile keeps a smiling face to attract fish. He cunningly preys on fish and welcomes them into his mouth with smiling jaws. So the aim of this poem parody is not only to make fun of the original writing but also to make its readers know the difference between vices and virtues. A bee will always be an example of virtuous behavior. So one must understand the difference between the both. Now let's try to understand with the help of these two poems. Shall we start, students? Very good. Let's start with the first poem first. First I am reading the poem. How doth the little busy bee? How doth the little busy bee improve each shining hour and gather honey all the day from every opening flower? How skillfully she builds her sail, how neat she spreads her wax, and labors hard to store it well with the sweet food she makes. So dear students, in the first poem, which is written by the poet Isaac Watts, so the poet tells us about the busy bee who does not waste time but works day in and day out to collect nectar from the flowers and store it in the hives built by the bees. So the poet tells us that how doth the little busy bee, doth means what? Does. How does the little busy bee improve each shining hour and gather honey all the day from every opening flower? So he says that how the busy bee who does not waste time but she works very hard in day-to-day life and she collects the nectar from the flowers and store it in the honeycomb or hives built by the bees. How skillfully she builds her sail, how neat she spreads her wax and labors hard to store it well with the sweet food she makes. So the poet further tells us that the poet appreciates the skills of the bees used in making the sails. Sail means honeycomb. Sail means honeycomb. You might have seen the honeycomb. And sealing them for future use. That means, and how neat she spreads her wax. You might have seen the honeycomb, how neatfully it is built by the bees. The poet is trying to tell us that we should take the example of these small creatures and use our time fruitfully. The poet tells us that we should not waste our time, but we should take the efforts and hard work like the bee. How she works very hard in her day-to-day life. So similarly, in the same manner, we should work very hard and use our time fruitfully. Now labors, here the labor is given. Labor means works hard. How the bee works hard. Now let's proceed to the second poem, a parody. Now first I am reading the poem, a parody, then I am explaining. How doth the little crocodile improve his shining tail and pour the waters of the Nile on every golden scale. Now a parody is a playful comic imitation of a writer's style. A parody deliberately copies someone or something in an amusing way. It may be simply a humorous imitation of a well-known or popular work. Parody means a playful comical copy of a writer's style. I repeat the meaning of parody. Parody means what? A playful, comical copy of writer's style. Parody is the original poem by giving an example of crocodile which pokes fun. So, in this poem, the poet tells us, Lewis Carroll, he tells us that how does the small crocodile tries to poke fun at the poem. How doth the little busy bee? So he tells us that the parody in a humorous way speaks about the idleness and cunningness of a crocodile in contrast to hard-working bee. So it tells us that the crocodile, what the crocodile does, the crocodile lazily throws water on its scales to shine its tail. How cheerfully he seems to grin. Grin means to smile with lips parted to reveal the teeth. Grin means to smile with teeth. How neatly spreads his claws. Claws means curved and pointed hard nails. You must have seen the crocodile teeth. They are very pointed, they are very sharp, very pointed and curved. So, how neatly spread his claws. Even the claws means pointed nail on which the foot of a mammal, reptile or bird. You must have seen the claws of the crocodile. They are pointed nails. And welcomes a little fishes in with gently smiling jaws. So the poet tells us that the crocodile keeps a smiling face to attract the fish, and the crocodile teeth are also very sharp and pointed, and also the claws of the crocodile are curved and pointed with hard nails. So the crocodile is very smart here. It keeps a smiling face to attract fish, and he cunningly preys on fish and welcomes them into his mouth with smiling jaws. So dear students, in this poem, the busy bee works all day for its honey. But in contrast, the crocodile remains idle yet gets his fill. So, in simple words, a crocodile is not working hard. The parody sounds funny because it is just in complete contrast with how doth the little busy bee. So the crocodile is not working hard here. The crocodile stands for laziness, mischief and negativity, whereas the bee stands for hard work and positivity. So the crocodile works only to fill its stomach, whereas the bee is a gentle creature and the crocodile is not gentle. The bee works hour after hour to store the nectar that it collects from the flowers, whereas the crocodile, vice versa, he just works only to fill its stomach. So dear students, I hope so that you have understood this poem very well. Now I am sending you all the question answers and the meanings, and the whatever the rhyming words are there, that everything I am sending you all through WhatsApp. Kindly note down in your English notebook in good handwriting. We'll see you in the next lecture. Thank you.